Hello, hello. Welcome back to the weekly podcast, the Monday Motivation Podcast. No more excuses. Thanks for listening, sharing the podcast, and connecting with me on social media. If you have not connected with me, it's Growing Forward Success Coaching on Facebook. Just my name, Sandi with an I, Ballard on LinkedIn, and Taskmaster Sandi on Twitter and Instagram. Or you can just search for my name. I'm sure I'll come up. So, thanks for listening. Like I said, in the last few weeks have all been about blame. The last few weeks of podcasts, that is. Who and what we blame for our lack of progress. And when I talk with people about this, regardless if they're a client or not, there's always some initial resistance. They, start out with, well, but. And then usually a giggle or laugh as the realization hits them, that they are blaming. And maybe some frustration with themselves. And then the full aha moment as they really embrace the fact that they have been blaming other people, other things around them. And they're now ready to shift their mindset and do what's necessary. Much like my clients last week. In the last few weeks as well. That's what I've been talking about, is how I've gotten them to shift, to realize that, and then shift their mindset and make progress. Once you create the plan and take action, you create the focus you need to make progress. What usually comes from this? A habit. You create consistency with your tactics, and like a client of mine I talked about not too long ago, who contacted 5 people every day. If you're listening, you know who you are. And another created a schedule there was one particular task that everyone in her department needed to be part of. And then another one who made adjustments in her diet. All saw huge results. But were they sustainable? Was the habit and the consistency sustainable? And we all get burned out. We all get overwhelmed. But if it becomes a habit, it should be sustainable. If it's not easy to maintain and seems more like a job, then it needs to be reevaluated. But also, how committed are you to accomplishing whatever it is? Whether it's creating or losing weight, or growing your business, or keeping one area of your office or home or whatever clean, you've got to create the habit. You've got to keep the consistency going. And it could even be starting a business. A new client of mine I spoke with last week for the first time, she's not blaming anything, really. Well, she did say she doesn't like the mornings because it's dark and cold. Well, it is for everybody. She's not a morning person. I heard that excuse a lot. Her challenge is not enough time to work on her business. I asked her one question. How badly do you want it? Which happens to be the title of my second book. But if you're not a morning person, but you don't have time, so you're sleeping in, and you're sleeping in a sense, it's sort of an excuse. It's sort of blaming the cold and all that, right? Then stay up an hour later, as I talked about a couple weeks ago. So after talking through things with her, we came up with a plan that didn't seem so overwhelming, that she'll test out. But much like some of my clients, they stop doing their plan. They stop with the consistency. Obviously, they become inconsistent. And then they wonder why business is down, why they didn't lose any weight or perhaps gained weight, why they didn't get to that next level, or why that back office is a hot mess again. If you're not going to keep the consistency and habits you created, then you can't bitch about the lack of results. Right? We all deserve some time off, vacation, weekends, even business trips get us off track. Kids, life, right? But you have to plan for that. You have to kind of go, okay, what if you're sick and, your schedule goes to shit? Well, how are you going to get back on the horse and get back on track, right? So as we near the end of this year, and continue to finish the year strong, it makes sense to see where you are with things. Is it going well? If it is, can you do more? If not, what has changed? What's different? Check your consistency, how consistent you're being with what you said you were going to do. Like with me, with my book, doing one thing a day for my book, my third book, which is actually out, The Magic Pill. There it is. One thing a day to finish the year strong. So just because my book is out, now the next step is creating the book launches. So if things aren't going well, then check that one thing a day, or like the one client, the 5 contacts a day. If you got away from your habit and you're now inconsistent, what are you going to do about it? Again, success that is, it all lies within our choices. And if you choose to not stick with something, especially after you see the results, you can't complain and blame, right? With me, with my new client, she was focusing more on what she was not getting done, and that was affecting her confidence. And she was questioning her decision to even start that business that she started in July. And did she miss an opportunity? Well, we've all had things go on, and I referred to her during my blaming podcast. I referred to, some of these things and how to get things done. So getting her to realize that she was focusing too much on what wasn't happening. We shifted gears, shifted her mindset so that she could see what she can accomplish with setting up that plan that didn't seem overwhelming. Again, much like people jump in and do too much and then get burned out. We'll check in with her every week to see how consistent she's being. So I'd like to hear from you, because this is why I love what I do. I love to help people see what they accomplish and how powerful the results can be. So email me sballard@growingforward.biz or post here, what are you not getting done? And let's go from there. All right. For me, it's house cleaning. I just dusted one thing today. Ugh, can't stand it. I hate it. But you got to do it, right? So I want to hear from you. Business, personal. What's one thing you're not getting done? And we'll figure it out. Oh, and with my new book being out, the first 3 people that reply, I'll email you a PDF book. All right. My latest book, The Magic Pill. It's available on Amazon and print and Kindle. But the first 3 people that reply, whether it's email sballard@growingforward.biz or posting here, I'll email you a PDF version, so it's not going to be as pretty. But if you sign up for initial coaching call, I'll send you a signed printed one. All right? I look forward to hearing from you so we can finish the year strong and start getting things done. Have a great week. Cheers.